Happy Friday! We made it through another week. We're back. Kimmers, thanks for being first as always. Mish, are we getting feral in here? You love my egg photo that I posted in Discord. Thanks, Mish. We're almost at 4 whole years together being part of the kitchen crew. I appreciate you always being here with us. Is this... Okay, I want to realize how to know how to say this name. Is it Kara or Karen? Welcome in. It's great to see you. Hello, Michael. Hello, Palouse. Or hello, Yet It Is. And we got Cookie in here. Guys, hope you didn't work too hard this week. Hope the weather is okay where you're at. All the things are good here. I dropped Samo off at the airport yesterday morning. He is working nights, so haven't talked to him a ton since he got up to work because he's just adjusting his sleep schedule, but he's doing good. He is actually learning the fuel truck until Tuesday until someone comes in, so that's cool that he gets to learn something new. And yeah, we had a good week. It was busy as always, and yeah, I got a new part-time job as well, so that's really exciting. Let's say we're doing private chef stuff now, which is actually what I wanted to do. You guys know that I don't want to work really in a restaurant anymore or anything like that, but I still like to cook for people. So that's super exciting. They want to do Tuesdays and Wednesdays for me cooking for them going forward, and I'm very excited about it. It went so good, Kimmers. Tiny Cheffer. Yeah, chef for money. So the couple is our age, I would say. They're quite young and they're both professionals. They own a couple different businesses around the city, so they're pretty busy, but they also work from home a lot. And the one thing they told me is that they love to eat all sort of different foods. What they don't want to do every week is try to think about what they should be eating. So that's where I come in. I make the menu for them for the 2 days with a dessert. And then I go grocery shopping for them as well, so they don't even have to go out to leave the house for the ingredients. And then I go there on Tuesday and Wednesday and I cook for them, and that's it. No time to figure out dinner, exactly. Even if they do have the time, they just don't want to spend the time to think about that. They have other things to do, right? So it was really awesome. I sent them my first week invoice, and just going forward, they just sent me a lump sum of money, let's say, and then they said just for me to track my food cost and labor cost and update them every week until they have to refill the amount. Ugh, I was like, what? That's amazing. I told them I stream because one of the businesses that they own is a digital marketing company, and so he was really interested on what I did on Twitch, right? He was always wondering how people make money this way. So he thought that was really cool. But yeah, it's awesome. I just got a code for their house if they're not around. Walk in. I try to take 2 to 3 hours to cook their meals. Hopefully I'll be able to do it within 2 hours or so, and that way it won't cost them a ton of money labor-wise as well. But it's super fun, guys, and it's a half an hour drive from the house, but they pay for me to drive back and forth too. So I honestly can't complain. And the wage is better than anything that I would even find in the city right now. So yeah, let's not mess this one up, let's say. And it's very cool. Yeah, if anyone is local or is looking for stuff, or maybe even trying to find work like this, the site that I found this through was called nannyservices.ca. It just popped up, I think, on Indeed or something one week while I was searching for jobs. And I was like, oh, what is this site? So I signed up as an employee, and then these people are employers, and then they find either a private chef, you could find a babysitter, a house cleaner, any sort of service like that. And then you just message them back and forth and set something up. So I have some other people that still want to hire me, but I think I'm just gonna keep this one couple to start, because you know what happens when you spread yourself too thin, right? Everything else suffers. I'm a certified nanny. Totally. Well, yeah, like I could always offer, like if they need help cleaning their house, right? I could always do that. Yeah, I like just recovered from 5 years of burnout, so let's not go back there, right? Let's not do that. But yeah, all is well, guys. I'll keep you updated. This week, what I made for them, I posted in Discord the dessert I made. The mangoes were pretty good price this week, so I made them a mango shortcake instead of a strawberry shortcake. As well, on the Tuesday, I made them like a roasted chicken dinner with rice pilaf and roasted chili garlic broccoli, and they really like that. And then on Wednesday, I made them like spaghetti and meatball dinner with Caesar salad. They were stoked. Okay, let's get into what we're cooking today. We have a pretty simple meal, and it's quite warm out today, so I thought we would keep it fresh and make some lettuce wraps. And I also felt like I needed a little bit of ground pork in my life, so we're gonna grind a whole pork shoulder to make these pork lettuce wraps. And to go with them, we are going to make the recipe for homemade hoisin sauce that Annie linked for us in Discord because it looks so good. And I basically had all the ingredients in the house for it, so I thought that was cool. And then to go with those lettuce wraps, and these are something that like I remember my mom making back in the day. She would often just make it with ground beef though. They have these crispy, crunchy chow mein noodles. We sprinkle these on top of the lettuce wrap after, and then the pork gets cooked with like onion, garlic, and ginger, and then we put a little bit of fresh bell pepper on there for crunch and sweetness. A little bit of green onion. Far K. I love that brand. Yeah, those were on sale this week, so I thought that was awesome. And then same with this living lettuce, which I will be honest is not looking the best. Like she's a little droopy, so I just got home and put her right into water today. But like even in the middle part, it's a bit dried out. But it was half price, so I really can't complain too much. And then I'll be able to grow more lettuce from that too. I'll stick it in the planter with the other ones. Yeah, parquet, like the margarine. What is the saying for the parquet advertising? I forget. The livid lettuce. Hi, little mama. How's it going? Your special for the week. Nashville hot chicken, mac and cheese, mashed taters with gravy, and a honey butter biscuit. How much are you selling that one for? If you say like $14, I'm getting on the plane. I'm getting on the plane right now. Okay, let me rate this list though as well as we go along here. And then here is our menu and couple recipes for the day. Parquet margarine from Kraft. The flavor says butter. That's what this slogan is? Oh, what's the other one? The other one is just I can't believe it's not butter. That is so funny. Hi, Mickey. How's it going? Okay, and then as well today, I had some like extra nuts and seeds to use up in the house and oats. So I thought we would make a granola recipe that I actually got from a YouTuber online. Her name is Coco Home. And she posts like videos. She does like 5 a.m. wake ups because she has like a really adorable little girl. They're in Australia, I think. But she'll like make a quick little breakfast and different stuff while her kids are sleeping in the morning. And yeah, she made this granola and then shared it. It looks so good. And I love yogurt bowls during the week. So I thought that would be awesome. Little mama, you sold it for $13.50. What did I say? 14 bucks? That was such a good guess. So I'm getting on the plane then. Hi, Lisa Pisa. And I'm okay, Mickey. I dropped Sabo off at the airport yesterday, so it's a little bit weird not having him around again, but all is well here. I can't complain. Okay, first thing, I think we're gonna start with the granola. Just get it into the oven and baking while we work on the rest of the meal. Granola. I had a heck of a time this morning trying to find coconut flakes. I guess those don't exist anymore. I went to 4 different stores and I was like, yeah, that's it for me. That's the limit. And 0 of the stores had coconut flakes. So I just ended up getting like this organic shredded unsweetened coconut. Because whenever you try to use coconut in granola, you don't want it sweetened because it'll just burn. And then it's going to taste bad. That's what I was thinking, Mish. I was like, is there something going on with coconuts that they're not telling us right now? Hi, Dad. Good to see you. What the heck are you doing? Popping in on a lunch break? This is amazing. Thanks for the 71 months in a row being subscribed. This meal would work for you. Just take the chow mein noodles off and you're good to go. Should have got a coconut. Oh, get a fresh one. Yeah, we're gonna take this fresh coconut and then we're gonna dehydrate it so that we can make our granola. Oh my goodness. Trust me, I thought of it. I was like, where do we go from here? The only other place I could check is like a health food store or the bulk store, bulk barn, but I was not prepared to travel to any of those places this morning. And yeah, I love coconuts so much. This is one thing that my clients don't really like, they said. They're like stipulations. They weren't super like bad or weird and they have no allergies, but they don't like coconut things and they don't really like lemon or cilantro, which is like not the hardest ones to follow. I will say that. Having the freedom to like cook whatever veggies and meats though is definitely like key, right? Mickey, you're trying to take Papa for a walk, but he pulls back. Like he doesn't want to walk or he's pulling, like he's walking you. No lemon heathens. Although I pushed the limit and I put a wedge of lemon on the side of the Caesar salad. They were okay with it. I do that. I push limits and I need to see, right? Did I try the co-op? Does co-op even exist here? I'm not sure. I'd have to go somewhere like Bulk Barn, I think. Seriously, little mama, like if your regular customers are telling you to raise your prices because they feel like you're not charging enough, you should do that. Don't sell yourself short. Proper people recognize the effort it takes to make great food every single week, right? That's why they're regulars, because you make consistent food. And then, yeah, the fact that you keep doing that over and over and your food is not expensive compared to other stuff that they can get that is less quality, it wouldn't hurt. Especially if the regulars are saying that and then you're not gonna lose them. It doesn't really matter about the new customers because they didn't know how it was before. It's true, Pell, yeah. Sometimes you need the acid. For Caesar salad, it's pretty rich and cheesy, right? Just a little bit of freshness to the dish. Okay, once we make our granola, because this is pretty simple, you just take all the ingredients, mix it in a bowl, and then put it in the oven to slowly bake. Let us get into grinding our pork. So we'll prepare the meat grinder. We have to chill it in the freezer. And then same with our cubes of pork. And I usually like to do that for about 45 minutes to an hour, just so everything gets really nice and cool. That way you get a really proper grind and it mitigates any chance of bacteria growing quickly. Just bomb it with black pepper, yes. There's certain things that like a massive amount of black pepper is so good on. I really like peppery eggs sometimes too. And what else? Tomato soup. We could go on and on. Okay, so cube the pork and then we'll grind it. And I don't know if we're gonna grind the whole pork shoulder today. I thought it might be nice to do maybe half and then save the other half of pork shoulder whole so that we have options to do more stuff another day. That is so amazing, little mama. Yeah, the fact that you aren't charging a lot for your food, and then whatever you have left over, you feed the homeless and frontline workers. You got a great thing going on there. If your place was local, I would go work there. I think there is so many people that are seriously like a paycheck away from being homeless. It's crazy, dude. It's so crazy. Okay, other things for our lettuce wraps. Now that we know what to do with the pork, obviously our lettuce, we'll wash that up. We have our chow mein noodles there, but obviously don't forget them. Our hoisin sauce. I want a little bit of green onion to garnish, and then onion, garlic, ginger to cook with the pork. Is that it, my friends? Is that it? Yes. Hoisin sauce, pork, chow mein noodles. Oh, the red pepper. And then the red pepper, we can say you can have it cooked with the pork, or if you wanted extra crunch and freshness, you could also just have it fresh. You don't have to cook it. And then lastly, our herbs. I think I have some cilantro and some other stuff that would go really good on the lettuce wrap today. All right, my wonderful peoples. Let's get into it. First, everyone have a sip of water. That's amazing, little mama. I'd be hooked if I knew that you also help employees pay their bills and get groceries if they're struggling. I wish everyone ran their businesses like that, right? Then you would have your employees stick with you a lot longer, I think. Okay, let me pop up this granola recipe in Discord. And I'll get the rest of the stuff we need for it. We need oats, shredded coconut, only 3/4 of a cup of seeds and nuts. Whatever you want, right? Choose different ones. I'm worried about putting the coconut in to bake with the granola. Like, I really don't want it to burn because the flakes are so small. So I think we'll actually leave the coconut out until maybe like 10 or so minutes before the granola is done. And then we can mix it in at that time. Just so that doesn't burn on us, because that would be sad. And then we need coconut oil or butter. I'm just going to use some butter. Honey. A little bit of cinnamon for flavor, and then optional if you want to put any dried fruits. Sheeted raisins, I have dates, but I don't think I'm gonna put any dried fruits into my granola because I often eat my yogurt bowls with fresh fruit, so I don't want too much extra sugar in there for the mornings. We don't need to spike our blood sugar first thing that much. Fill it with peanut M&Ms. Imagine how good that would be. Peanut M&M granola. And then we need our oven at... Okay, wait, I have to do a conversion here. Hey Siri.
Here's what I found.
Uh-oh. Hey Siri. What's 145 Celsius converted to Fahrenheit?
That would be 200.
So 300 degrees Fahrenheit, or just under that. And we go pretty low with baking granola. Because of the honey and stuff, you don't want it to burn. But everything has to cook slowly so it gets nice and crispy and crunchy. Feta in the morning is definitely alright. Who thinks a mixed bag of peanut butter, and regular M&Ms is a good idea? I think that's a great idea. I'd be down. That is so cute, little mama. If you local teens told you they would rather have your home cooking and company than sitting inside playing video games, you're changing their lives. It's really important to be like a good mentor like that for the younger generations. Okay, let's get into it. Get a big bowl. We'll get our stuff. And then we'll just line a baking pan with a silicone mat or parchment, whatever you have. Oh, it was also really crazy to cook with gas again. To go from like a convection stove and gas stove at my clients to then this at home. I literally have to like relearn how to use the pieces of equipment. Cookie. It was funny, but holy, cooking with gas is so nice. I forgot how nice it was. All right, gonna grab our oats. I got 2 different types of oats we're gonna mix. Because we got sprouted as well as large flake. Okay, what else? Our honey. Cinnamon is over there. How much oats again? 2 cups of oats. So we'll do 1 cup of each type of oats. So these ones are organic and sprouted, which is what I would often eat. But these were not around for a little bit, so in the meantime, while they weren't, I just bought these large flake oats, but they're quite crunchy. And then we know that because these aren't organic, they're probably sprayed with glyphosate. So that's why I try to just cut it in half. Uno. It's an overload. Man, I was so happy this morning shopping at Costco. I was having the people swipe my receipt at Costco on the way out at 8:57 before the store even opened. The one lady at customer service, she's like, well, that was quick. I was like, yeah. I looked at my watch. I was like, it's 8:57. You guys aren't even open yet. I was like, shh, don't tell anyone. Like, ran away. I will say, if you guys go early to the stores, you will really like start to get to know the people that work there. It's a bit more of a fun experience. Okay, we're keeping our coconut on the side and then 3/4 of a cup worth of other seeds and nuts. So I have pumpkin seeds and some cashews here. You already know the people that work there without even going. Lucky. And then what else do we need? We got cashew, pumpkin seed. I have pecan, walnut, and macadamia to choose from. I think the walnut will be really good in there. And that's probably the oldest one I have actually to use up. So we will have to chop up the walnut a little bit. Just thinking like walnuts with banana is really good. Yeah, just your local stores, you already know all the people there. I might use a little bit more than the 3/4 of a cup of different nuts and seeds. We're just gonna go 1 full cup. Because why the heck not? Yeah, you've withdrawn enough that they don't even remember you. You're just a floater now. Just give it a rough chop. You don't need to chop the nuts too small. Oh my Lanta. We gonna get a tornado today? See what I mean, Wayne? This wind? It's actually insane. No, it's okay. Then we're gonna die of heat. Okay, so that was about half a cup of walnuts. Top it up with some pumpkin seeds. So these are just raw pumpkin seeds, not roasted, right? All of your nuts and seeds for granola should not be pre-roasted or toasted. And then we'll top it with a little bit of cashews. I'm gonna try and just pick out the really big pieces. And then pour the already chopped up bits in there. Save yourself time. Gustin 40K. It seems like every single blue sky day we get here now, the gusts are 40K. It's like you can't just enjoy being outside without getting blasted with wind. Why are you like this? Okay, take a couple more of these other bits here. I will say, on like really, really hot days, you definitely need the breeze to keep you cool, right? But I mean, it's only like 20 degrees here. Guys, we're just gonna use this. I can't believe I put those back in. Like, to keep that small amount just doesn't make sense. Recipes are guidelines for a reason. It's not gonna break the granola, don't worry. Yes, flying kites. Oh my gosh, I did too. You don't have a good spot anymore? I could easily go into the park across the street and fly kites. Okay, I'm just gonna put this right in the bowl. Yum. Give a little wiperoo. Just a literal hayfield. Amazing. Okay. Now we need some fat and some honey. You could also use maple syrup if you didn't want to use honey. So equal parts, 1/3 of a cup of coconut oil and honey. So we'll fill that with honey and then heat it up. And then we'll melt our butter. Maybe we'll just melt it all together. And we'll mix it. And then we'll bring the granola together. What? Your mom has a bunch of land, but it's all wooded. So yeah, it would cost so much to clear it and like make it livable. But for recreational things, that is like money. I will say it's like, it was really crazy cooking at my client's house. Because they live in like a residential neighborhood, right? Like they live in a house, not downtown. Basically away from the Mecca. It was just like, holy smokes, I can't believe how quiet it is. Just like silence. I was like, where is everyone? Let's hold on to this spoon because we can use it to stir everything together. Their cat is so cute, Mish. Oh my goodness. Like the most well-behaved cat I've honestly ever met in my life. Like, she doesn't really meow. She doesn't jump up on the counters. Doesn't get in the way. She'll just, like, greet you, be like, like the little sounds like that, which is so dang cute, like my favorite. And then she'll either like sit beside me in the kitchen, she'll sit in front of the oven, or like sit on the bar stool in front of me and just like watch me cook. So it's literally a cooker cat. She gets so pumped though when I come over. That's right. She's the supervisor. Okay, I need to somehow get 1/3 of a cup off of this. Where's the whole cup line? Over there. One-third of a cup of butter or coconut oil, or probably even just regular oil. But I only have olive oil. I don't think that'll taste very good. The end of this butter wasn't very even, the way they packed it, so I'm just gonna cut a little bit more off. If you use coconut oil though, it would make it taste so good and nutty. So keep that in mind. What the heck, pal? You were parked in a spot waiting on your friend and writing in your journal to pass time, and that's what they thought. What is with people? Gotta rinse the butter off my knife. But yeah, my clients are like seriously the most chill people ever. Like they'll just sit at the table in the kitchen on their laptops in just like silence working. And so we'll all just like be in the kitchen together working for like hours. And no one even has to talk to each other and it's not weird. I was like, wow, this exists? You were, yeah. Don't mind me, I'm just writing down license plates. Like, who has time to do that? Okay, let's melt that. 40 seconds. And then maybe I'll just stir in the honey to the melted butter. And where's our little bit of cinnamon? Because I think that would be yummy. Yeah, the comfortable silence. When you find that, that's awesome. Just a bit of cinnamon. We're not making cinnamon granola. Hi, Alex of Ohio. And if I missed it earlier, hi, Nightwalker. I saw you, but I might have forgot to say hey. Okay. We're schmelted. Silence is always good in some cases, right? If no one's uncomfortable in the silence, that is like, ugh. Awesome time. Okay, let's see how this goes. Is this gonna liquefy a bit? Could always put it back in the microwave a couple more moments. Smelt it. I think we need a little bit longer. That's actually what the guy said. Because we were talking about what we do. And he's like, yeah, I don't really like working with other people either. It's so funny how like so many of us of the younger generation just like don't really like working with people. What's with that? Let's go like 12 more seconds. Let's not explode that in the microwave. That'd be scary. You too, yet it is. None of us like working with other people. I mean, I like working with people. I'm just really particular, I guess, of who they are. Which I think is like fair. I think we're allowed to be like that. Okay, so the honey is just like chillin' melted under the butter, but I think we're all good here. Yeah, we like our people, exactly. Mish, that's funny you say that, because when I watch Berta, guys, this is a YouTuber that is in Denmark. That's one of the things she said, because she's originally Icelandic. And she's like, one of the hardest things living in Denmark is like actually trying to make friends, because everyone just kind of sticks to themselves mostly. Let's first just mix this up a little bit. And one thing I am gonna add into here is just a pinch of salt, actually. Just to balance out the other flavors. Is it true though, Mish? Danes like very much keep to themselves. Little pinch of salt to balance out our sweetness and the butter. Okay, let's just pour this over. I've also not like made a ton of granolas, so let's see how this goes, because this seems like a lot of liquid. The floral smell from the honey mixed with the butter. Yes, please. Hi, Michael. That's how I am, and I'm not even from Denmark. Throw some red pepper, just a little bit of heat. Spice up your yogurt bowl. I think we can add more oats. I think we need more oats to soak up the bit of liquid here. Just a touch. It seems quite wet, though. Will it soak it up? I think we need more. Just like a touch. A little boop. Again. It smells really nummy. Almost smells like cinnamon buns. With the honey, butter, and cinnamon. Okay, so then when we bake this, the honey is going to make everything start to clump together and get crispy. Let's pour this onto here. Just pour it into a pile first. And then we'll spread it out after that. You want one nice even layer of this mixture spread onto the pan so that when it bakes really nice and evenly. And then I think about halfway through, or at the 10-minute mark even, we can give it a stir around. Because it's always going to get more dark on top, and then the inside's going to not be very toasted, right? Hi, the Bear fan. How's it going? Spent a week in a ward, some guy attacked you, understood that some people are not for you. You needed to run for yourself. There you go. Yeah, now you're just in a digital world. It's safer that way. You don't have to spread the granola super thin where it could potentially burn. Maybe like 1/3 of an inch thick is what I'm going. And remember, we still need just a little bit of coconut flakes. I'll probably do 1/2 cup to sprinkle on in the last 10 minutes and mix in. This looks yummy, guys. Probably way less expensive to make at home than to buy the pre-made granola in the store always. That was my hope, at least. Okay. Scrape that off. Then we'll put her in the oven. Hello, Shecht. You just made granola the other day. And yeah, it's good when you know what's going in it, right? Like I said, not too much sugar, just enough to hold everything together and make it crunchy. But yeah, the initial cost, right? Like if I didn't have all of this stuff in the house, I probably wouldn't make granola. Blood Oak, how's it going? Welcome in, dude. Yeah, hate to say it, but something about the Hoisin pork looking a little off. Into the oven. Let's do 15 minutes. And then just grab a bench scraper, or even just a spoon works good, or a spatula, just for when we take it out halfway to mix everything up. Timer is on. First part completed. Cross that off the list, and I'll just put a couple things away. We also have to measure out the coconut still. Do that. I keep my pumpkin seeds in the freezer so they stay fresh. You're late, boss man, but better late than never. What if you need a tub of granola? I don't know, you're on your own then. What? Today is a very special day. None other than Cooker Kitty, Mr. Rebel, has reached the impressive age of 16 years old. Happy birthday to Cooker Kitty. I can't believe that actually 16 years old. I'm like trying to think of how old my cats were, like when I was younger and had pets. I don't think they got that old though. That's amazing. He's an old Cooker Kitty. He got a birthday dinner of salmon and codfish because those are his faves. Like just raw you give it to him, or do you cook it? I also actually bought salmon today for... Is this the first time we've bought salmon since we've even lived back in this province, I feel? But it was on sale. It's a farmed coho sashimi grade though. Like I wouldn't have bought the farmed salmon if it wasn't sashimi grade. But oh my gosh, it was such a good price. I'm so dang excited. So we're gonna make poke with that tomorrow. I'll show it to you in a sec. We need to scene it. Okay, next thing that we'll start with is, I think we'll make up the hoisin sauce, actually, while we're waiting for the meat grinder to chill. That's what we'll do. We'll do the hoisin sauce after we prep the meat grinder stuff, because that stuff has to sit for a little bit. You just cook the fish in a bit of water for Kitty. Yeah, right? Even our animals. Just because we don't eat it raw probably means that they shouldn't either, right? But look at this. This is seriously the best piece of salmon I've seen since I moved here. So it's regular 22, but I got it on sale today for 17. It was like, my God, a whole fillet of salmon for $17. I think the farmed Atlantic ones are like 30 in the store. This is from Chile. I've never had coho salmon. I didn't even know it existed in Chile. Like, I caught this fish on the west coast in BC when we lived there. But now I know that it's from Chile. It says, every effort has been made to remove all bones from our salmon. However, some may remain. Isn't it sexy though? Yeah. And it has the skin on. So I don't think we'll use all of this for our poke tomorrow. I'll save some nice fillets so that we can cook some of the salmon on stream too. But I'll definitely keep an eye out for that now that I know it goes on sale sometimes. Can you get the antibiotic at the pharmacy? Oh, for the fish, right? So silly. I'm so excited to eat that though. Okay, plastic things for meat grinder, just put it over here for now. Metal bits. I could have got, and I hate how they call it this, but when they put the ground meats in the tubes like this, they call it a chub. What the hell is wrong with people? Anyways, I could have got a chub of ground pork. It was on sale at Costco today. But honestly, I don't know what went into that ground pork. So I said, I'm just gonna buy a whole pork shoulder and I'm gonna grind it myself. I hate how they call it that, Cookie. My chub of meat. Like, excuse me? What did you just say? Okay, now we'll just build this up and put it in the freezer. The pork shoulder was not on sale today, but the price has not really gone up. So that's good to see as well. Hello? There you go. And yeah, I did really good job scrubbing up all of this stuff. As well, we found a meat grinder care kit on Amazon from the same company that we have like the burger press from. I guess you can get a silicone spray to spray onto all the metal pieces after you wash them, and then they won't grind together as much. I was like, what? So I think Sam said he ordered that. I guess we'll see. Excited to use it though. It's got like a bunch of different brushes and different stuff to get in all the crevices. Meat grinder care kit. Okay, next. El Porco. I noticed that Costco has started carrying Olymel brand of meats. Before they were just no branding at all and then just a price tag on it like this from Kirkland. And so this whole pork shoulder, what do we have? 2.7 kilos was $27. So yeah, like $10 a kilo. Get a cutting board and then our boning knife and a bowl. And like I said, I don't think that we're going to grind all of this up today. We'll do half and then leave the other half whole. Hell, I love that you look all this stuff up. Just like adds little tidbits to this show. It's freaking awesome. Palooza's like the little bar on TV that like pops up with the fun facts. Dude, thank you. Actually makes my day. You're Cliffy. I'm gonna open this up in the sink because it looks a little bit juicy. Wonder what kind of recipes they have online. Like you could scan that and it'll bring up some recipes. That's kind of cool. You had to walk to the mailbox. It's kind of breezy there too. Yeah, I want to go for a walk later. I had a really busy morning. Maybe the wind will die down. Hi Valk, how are you doing? Happy Friday to you. This is actually a really nice pork shoulder, guys. Holy smokies. It's really beautiful. Like there is barely any juices on it. And so this is boneless, which means, how did they even take the shoulder blade out? I don't know how they took the shoulder blade out, guys, but I think this might be a half of the pork shoulder because you could see where they cut the blade out. So this is a chunk of pork shoulder, let's say, and I am like in love with this fat cap here. I hope that we don't have to clean it off. And then looking at this, because I said I only want to grind about half of it, well, this side looks really nice and like kept together, right? If we wanted to keep it as a roast, whereas this side is kind of torn up already, so we should grind this side and then keep the other side. So I'm just gonna slice right down from like here where it kind of gets messed up. I'll even take this little flap off too. There. And then do that. And then I'll just vacuum seal this whole piece of shoulder. And then we have lots of options, right? Like we could cook it whole. Look how nice that is too. That is like the pork collar, let's say. So this is a bit more expensive part of the shoulder. Also, if I say this is where capicola comes from, the Italian cured meat, you can definitely tell that with how it's marbled. I'm doing good, Valk. Thank you so much for the 21 months in a row. I miss you too. Okay, so that's gonna be kept for other options. We could also slice this, make schnitzel from it. Yeah, there's so many different options. And now this side, so it looks around the same as far as marbling goes. And then we're just gonna kind of take a peek around, see if there's any connective tissue to clean off. And it honestly doesn't look like there's much. Connective tissue will be like silvery looking, really shiny, not as white fatty like this. So all I'm gonna do is now do like 1-inch slices through to get steaks, and then we'll cube it up. Good pork shoulder though for $30. Let's just put it this way. I could have got like a little square like this flat of tuna cubed for poke, like ahe tuna cubes for $18, or we get all of this pork for $26. And the other thing with my ground meats I don't really pay too much attention to like the meat to fat ratio. I'm not like, oh, I need like a lean ground pork. I'll just grind it up and then cook it because you could always strain the fat out at a later time, right? And I think things would just taste better if you cook it with the fat and then take it off afterwards. So 1 to 2 inch cubes, whatever will fit easiest through the meat grinder. It's starting to smell nummy from the granola. Sweet cinnamony. I'm excited for our IRL stream this weekend, guys. We're gonna go out with my friend. My friend Julia. She's actually asking a bunch of people at her work today, right? 'Cause she's fashion designer. So she's asking them, like, what are the best places for us to go shopping for fabric and stuff. Hopefully we get a good answer. I just have to grab a bowl really quick for this. I forgot. It's really deceiving once you start cutting it up. Holy smokes. Still have 2 more huge chunks. You're excited to meet Julia? She's like my longest friend to date, actually. I think about this. Okay, washing my hands really quick. I'll just take this pork out of here for a moment while we check on the granola. Yeah, how long is she though? Addictive. What should you meal prep this week? Whatever's on sale. Doesn't really look like anything, guys. I don't know if we have to stir it. Look. It hasn't changed. I'm just gonna put it back in. But holy smokes, does it smell good. I'm having yogurt for dessert tonight. I'm gonna do another 10 minutes. And then we'll check it again. Meal prep French fries? You can really meal prep anything, it's true. Carne asada fries? Yes, please. I bet it was good. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this stringy bit out of here. Get out of there. The only thing we trimmed off of there, and then maybe this too. The little vein. The bloody part. Right, that sounds so good. Cookie carne asada fries. Oh, I did learn this week. That if you ever see, like, blade roasts at the grocery store, that is the same as chuck. They just call it different. But chuck equals blade. Which makes sense, right? Because that's also where, like, up by where the brisket comes from. I didn't know that. And then there was, like, blade steaks on sale this week at the store. It's like, that would be the time to pick up some steak. I'm just going to put this in a container for now. I'll vacuum seal it after stream. The good old air fryer. That is one thing I will not use at my client's house, is the air fryer. I'll stick to the convection oven. Okay, so that's gonna go in the fridge for now. Let's just rinse off all the porky bits. Get it sanitized for later. Yeah, it's no deep fryer, that's for sure. But in a pinch, it works good. Also, if you live in a really small space, right, and don't even have appliances to cook with, having an air fryer can definitely save your life a bit. Wash, wash, wash. Okay, now it's hoisin sauce time. I've never made hoisin sauce before. Yeah, that was my thought, like a little campus or a really small little studio apartment that just has a microwave and a sink. Into the freezer. Move this actually. It's so good clearing out the freezer while Samo was home. It's like half empty. Why are he closing? Okay, so I'm gonna set another timer now for 45 minutes for the pork. So we can keep working on everything else while that stuff is chilling. So chill grinder and cube pork, and then we just grind it when the timer goes off. Let's read our sauce recipe. Oh, I didn't click on it earlier. There we go. Homemade hoisin sauce. It does say gluten-free, but we're not making a gluten-free version today. I am gonna use soy sauce in it. And so it says, hoisin sauce is a classic Chinese sauce, thick, dark brown with strong sweet and salty flavors, almost like a Chinese style of barbecue sauce. That's actually the best way to describe it. I've never heard of hoisin described that way. This popular Chinese sauce originates from Cantonese cuisine, but it's also used in Vietnamese cooking and is commonly served in Chinese restaurants around the world. It's made using fermented soybean or black bean paste. However, the Chinese fermented bean paste can be hard to find in supermarkets outside of Asia. I do have them, so that's why we're gonna make it today. I didn't even have to go out to buy them, I already had it. This is the one part I like about making your own sauces at home, is that it gives you complete control over the ingredients that you're using. So there's not gonna be any of those weird preservatives, right? Because we're making it fresh, not making it so it can sit on a shelf for a year. You can also limit the sugar content in this if you don't want it as sweet. And then you can use it with stir fries, in marinades, mix it in with noodles, in a braised dish, as a dipping sauce for spring rolls. Spread inside of wraps. And it says as a sauce for like air fried meals like crispy tofu and broccoli. Okay, you got so many options. Okay, so the ingredients we need, if you are gonna make it gluten-free, you want tamari. If not though, just soy sauce, tahini, so sesame seed paste, a dark brown sugar, which we're just gonna make our own version of it today with more molasses, 5-spice, garlic powder, miso, sesame oil, and water. Not very crazy of ingredients, I will say. Just scrolling down here. So to make 200 milliliters, which I think is a good amount, That's just under 1 cup. Because then I can make a small little jar for myself. Let me go grab the other ingredients. And we need a little scale. And it says all we have to do, mix all the ingredients in a small pan, heat gently for a few minutes until the sugar dissolves and the powders are mixed in well. Pour into a jar, close the lid, and let it cool. Store in the fridge for up to 3 weeks or 6 months in the freezer. That is so easy. What the heck? Okay, let's get out a little pot and we'll grab the ingredients. Ah, the mouse attacked me. Get out a little pot. I don't know what's within the bottom of this pot, but I just took it out of the dishwasher this morning. I'm just gonna give it another, like, scrub. Something got, like, stained onto it. It looks weird. The dishwasher fell asleep last night. Got too tired. I forgot that one. Okay, it looks normal now. Phew. Okay, I know we have the tahini here, as well as the sesame oil, as well as black bean paste. Boom. Regbach, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And our miso. Okay, I think that's all of the cold ingredients. Let's grab soy sauce, 5 spice, what else was it? Black beans like Black Betty, Bambalam. I like it, pal. Okay, that's the granola timer again. Oh, and just the garlic powder, molasses, and sugar. Okay, let me go quickly grab those 3 things, and then we'll check the granola. The granolis. Okay, we got some brown in action a bit now. Why don't we're just gonna pop over here to the stove together. Pour on the coconut at the end now, because we didn't want the coconut flakes to burn, or the shredded coconut. So we let it cook for 25 minutes. Now I put it on the last 5-10 minutes. You're in the middle of making this salted caramel creme brulee cheesecake, and your friend is making it later as well. Enjoy, White Dove. That cheesecake, I hate saying this, but it was one of the best cheesecakes I've ever eaten. Like, really crazy. I hope you enjoy it. Alright. So we got the bench scraper here too, and then we measured out 1/2 cup of shredded coconut, unsweetened. It was really difficult to find unsweetened coconut today. I didn't think that would be the case. And now, we can just stir it in with our scraper. And then one note on granola is when you take it out of the oven like this, yeah, it looks golden brown and like it would be crunchy and crispy, right? But it's actually not crunchy when you take it right out of the oven. It has to cool off. And then when it cools, it'll get crispy again. So don't worry if when you take it out of the oven, it feels a bit like soggy. Okay, now I'm gonna spread this out thinner so that we can get that coconut toasted up. Now that really filled out the sheet pan. And we'll check it every 5 minutes until we're happy with it. One thing about nuts and seeds like this is they really burn quick. I wouldn't push it all the way to 10 minutes. Yeah, what have you done to us, Michael? You got us hooked on the cheesecake, dude. For good reason, though. Okay, 5 more minutes. It's 111 where I am. What time is it where you are? Some people have 222. 333. Pepitas, walnuts, cashews. Yeah, we're the nuts and then coconut. Okay. I don't even know what to start with here. Let's get a couple spoons out for our pastes. It's 21.12. Nice, Mish. You're 2 hours ahead. Okay. How much of these things? Oh yeah, it was the scale. The scale is what we needed. Just put the pot right on there. We want grams. So I measure out the soy sauce by weight. 75 grams. I did 77. Oops. Banana for scale. Okay, 50 grams. Oh, this is interesting. They said if you don't have tahini, you could use peanut butter. I mean, I wouldn't, but I guess. Tear. Give this a stir too. Sometimes it gets a bit chunky and separated. The oil will separate from the sesame. So 50 grams of this. I never thought there would be tahini in hoisin sauce. I think that'll probably be good. So we gotta scrape the spoon off. Yo, it's Pobo Mojo Jojo. That's a wild username. You gonna put duck in it? In the hoisin? No, we're doing pork today. Hoisin duck would be good though too. We need just a little bit more. That's a really good tahini. Tastes so fresh. Yeah, Peking duck cookie. This is sesame seed paste, or crushed sesame seeds. So done with that. The whole 5 spice? Shh, quiet. It used to be, look at what I did. It used to be allspice whole, and then I just turned it into 5 spice. Because, like, once you put the stickers on the jar, you could even see where I tried to get it off. Impossible. I guess I'd have to use rubbing alcohol. Okay, next one we need 30 grams of the dark muscovado sugar, which is just a sugar that is more coarse and hasn't been overly refined, so it's quite dark. That's really it, guys. So I didn't feel like we needed to get anything fancy today. Plus, that can be really expensive now, those like one-off kind of sugars. So we're just going to do... I'll kind of watch as we add the sugar and molasses together and just make our own version of it. I'm gonna start with the 15 grams of just white sugar, and then we'll do 15 grams of molasses. Hello? Scale? Well, that's obviously more than 3 grams, so I'm not gonna pour any more. Scale? Hello? Tahini is super easy to make. Have you made it, Shakt? Okay, next one. We'll stop there. I think we also have to add molasses in. A tablespoon worth. Let me check on this granola though, because that was 5 minutes. You can go 5 more. Okay, while we're at the molasses stage, we're gonna add a tablespoon as well. More. That's cool, Shakt. I've never made my own tahini. Did you use a food processor? Alright, those are done. I think we're done with the scale as well now. So 1 tablespoon, I'll just start at the top and then go down, of white miso paste. So shiro is white miso paste. And I keep this in the freezer. It stays fresher that way. So that's fermented soybean. That. So that's gonna add a lot of salty flavor. Miso ice cream. I think I've actually seen that before. There's actually quite a few desserts with miso. I believe I've seen like miso brownies or something. Was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a bit crazy. Okay, so they said white miso or the Chinese fermented bean paste. Should we just put both? I'm just gonna put a little bit of both. Because I don't think it's gonna hurt. Equal parts. Okay, next one. A little bit of spices. We need a tablespoon of our toasted sesame oil. I'm gonna do that last though, after our 5 spice and garlic powder. So a teaspoon each of our 5 spice. Guys, what's the 5 spices again? Star anise, for sure. Is it coriander? I always forget, even after all these times that we've learned them. That's the 6th spice, Mish. Okay, now we can measure our sesame oil. A tablespoon of that. Load it up. Swipe that off. Guys, that's Hoisin sauce. Now we just gotta heat it up. I'm gonna put it on the stove while we put this stuff away. Just a nice low heat, it said. It's Greek! Hi, Greek! I will say this sesame smells so good now. How's Greek today? Yes! Yeah, the 5 spices are posh, baby, sporty, scary, and ginger. Duh! Okay, hopefully this all tastes balanced. Are we trusting it that we won't have to add anything else? I honestly think so. If Annie said it was good, I'm pretty sure it's good. You guys use different spoons for eating and measuring? Is a tablespoon not the same across the board? They're not. I just eyeball it if I'm too lazy to use a measuring spoon. Because, like, you have to think of all the times that I've used a measuring spoon, right? Like, you already know what the amount is. Doesn't really matter what the size of spoon is. Does that make sense? I'm gonna scrape this spoon off. I thought we would need a whisk for this. Our little pastes and such. Get stirred in there. And then we'll check on our granola. Okay, we just gotta heat that a bit to get the miso melted in there. Whoa. No phone calls while streaming. Actually, how about we just do this? I'm just gonna do a quick do not disturb. Because the spam calls lately, guys, have been insane. Turmeric, cumin, curry powder, paprika, and allspice. Those are the 5 spices? We had to say hi-bye for a sec, Mish. It's okay. I had to make sure that we wouldn't get disrupted anymore. It's smelling insane in here. It looks so good. It looks so good. Guys, the granola's ready. Look at it. coconut's all toasted, the nuts, the oats. So I'll just put it back here to cool. It smells so delicious. I don't even know what to say. Nutty and sweet. Oven is off. Sub out curry powder for garam masala. That would be, yeah, a pretty good sub, that's true. But I think the Chinese 5-spice is different. Star anise, clove, cinnamon, Szechuan pepper, and fennel. See? That's different than from what Greek said. So Chinese 5-spice. Star anise, clove, cinnamon, Szechuan pepper, and fennel. So a lot of licoricey sort of flavors in the Chinese 5-spice. The star anise, the fennel. Okay, while this is heating, I'm just gonna go grab a little jar for us. Put that into. Oh, the spoon holder saved our life there with the whisk falling. Guys, I think that it's frozen. Oh no, it's just back. It happened. Okay, give me a sec. I'm going to try and reset that so it's not in the past. So it's not in the past. Ah. We're still not back live. We'll just give it a moment or so. The kitchen assistant. This cameraman. Okay, I was searching for a jar. One jar for Hoisin. Oh, I think this will actually be perfect. Where did this even come from? What? This is like the fanciest little jar I've ever seen. I don't even know where it came from. I can't show you over there. It says, Fruta del Prato. Like, seriously fancy. But that should fit the hoisin sauce. Just make sure it's nice and clean and good to go. See, I was just showing the jar there. Fine, I'll plug it in. We'll get it figured out. Greek, it's in Italian. The words. Must have been like a fancy Italian preserved fruit or something. Fruta de Prato. See? Fruit of the field. It's embossed on a line of Chinese-made preserving jars. Hey, we're keeping with the Chinese theme here. I don't want to hear it. Hell's just AI. We think he's a real person, but he's not. Is this even gonna, like, come to a simmer? Okay, we're hooked up on the USB now. We shouldn't have any more issues. Who isn't AI? Yeah, we're all AI. Okay, we finally got bubble in here. Remember, we just need to stir it until it's smooth and the sugar is dissolved, so it shouldn't take too much effort. Smells good. It's not as dark as traditional hoisin I'm used to, but maybe it'll get dark once it cools off a bit. Okay, I'm turning that off. The one thing about pouring stuff into jars, if that's where you want to store it, we always go with the same temperatures, let's say. So if this mixture is warm, the jar has to be warm. But right now the jar is kind of cool. So I'm just gonna actually pop it on like our little spoon holder here and put it over by the pot so it'll start to warm up so that we can get hot sauce into a warm jar so that we don't crack the glass and put all of our hard work out the window. And yeah, this burner is now off, so we can have a little taste. A little sneaky taste of our homemade hoisin sauce. You can clearly see the 5 spice in it. The thickness looks good too. Mmm. It's a little salty. Maybe not though. It's definitely a lot more flavorful than the store-bought one. Wow. That is like straight up umami in your face. I really like the taste of the tahini in there, I will say. Super nutty. Like, kind of makes it creamy. Okay, I'm just gonna add like a touch of maple syrup just to balance out the bit of salt. And then we'll let that cool some more. What do we have on our timer for? We have 15 minutes until it's time to grind our meats. Let's keep carrying on in the meantime. Greek, you had a gout flare-up? No. Will it be salty with the lettuce? I think once we have the pork cooked and everything together, I think that it will be able to flavor the pork perfectly. I'll just make sure I don't put any salt with the pork. Okay, hoisin sauce, check. We got our chow mein noodles back there. Now let's chop up some onion, garlic, and ginger to cook with the minced pork. I'll also take out our bell pepper. Garlic, ginger, bell pepper. Grab an onion. And so I'm gonna dice the onion really nice and small so that it kind of just melts into the mixed pork or minced pork. Not big chunks of it. Grab a couple little containers. Your pain's at a manageable 5 now out of 10? You couldn't even walk, Greek? What the heck? Like, gout is something that, like, we've all heard the word. But I feel like there's not that many of us that really know what it does to you. We just know that it's bad. It was a 13? Dude. I'm glad you got it under control now. We'll do all of the garlic. Just give it a smash. Then I think we'll just use the garlic press for the garlic today. And maybe just the microplane for the ginger. Grate it. This piece of garlic, I can already see it. Not that nice. I think we can just trim that off. Get out of there. Yeah, goat's bad. Okay. Oh my gosh, Greek. The pain of gout is worse than childbirth. Greek's like, now I know. This is the flattest garlic clove ever. Look at this. Like someone sat on it. Okay, that's ready to go. Prep our onion while we got a mess here. Not gonna even do half of the onion. Like a quarter of it. I'm not gonna do like equal parts onion and pork. That would be weird. You're gonna switch to either keto or full-on carnivore now. Just so that it doesn't affect your gout anymore. High fat, low carb. I like that diet the most. That's probably how I mostly eat. A really high fat diet. Okay, we're gonna do nice thin dice on the onion. Actually, I think I have some onion in the fridge still to use up. Let me see if it's good. Because I feel like this might actually not be enough anyways. Let us check. Interesting, so gout is connected to the kidney. We're learning, guys. Okay, these are actually good still. Literally chop the same, just add it to it. We're going all out, I guess, on the onion. I take back what I said. Put that over by the stove. So that'll get fried first by itself, the onion. And then we'll add the garlic and ginger and then the meat. Cook it all together. Ginger and garlic can go in the same little container. After we prep this, we should be able to pour the hoisin sauce into the jar. It should be cooled off. Sam and you are still together? Where would you see quinoa tofu salad on the menu, you crazy? Everyone in here knows I don't even, like, cook that. I have been cooking quinoa lately. That's because I had to use it up. And I was successful at that. It was funny though, I saw there was like a brick of tofu in my client's fridge. So I was asking Patrick, I was like, you guys eat vegetarian sometimes? I see the tofu. He's like, no, that's my wife. I guess she wants to sometimes, but that's all on her. I just start laughing. I don't do soy. Not too much soy. I like miso. Is tempeh made of soy? Like, I don't even know what those things are made of. Just goes to show how often I don't eat them. Miso soy. Mish, you've never even had tofu? Like, you're really not missing anything. I will say that. Yo, you ever eat Korean braised tofu? I've never. I would try that though. I always try everything once. Okay, get the microplane or just a zester, and we're going to just grate the ginger, and I don't need to peel it because it kind of takes the skin off while we do this. We'll almost do all of this nub. Tempeh is its own thing. I know tempeh is also fermented. I just don't know if it is also soy. You put an overnight pumpkin pie oatmeal recipe in Discord from one of the cookbooks that you got. Haven't been able to buy. That sounds good though. I did see there was pumpkin pie filling on sale at the store this week, but I thought that was weird because it's not really pumpkin pie season. Okay, so tempeh is fermented soybeans as well. It's a texture thing for me, I think, as far as like soybeans go and tofu. It's working. I'm gonna do a little bit more on this end. Michael, that's how you are. Texture is huge when you eat stuff. I think as far as like people not liking certain foods, it's not always the flavor. It's more the texture. Okay, just gonna rinse that out so it doesn't get stuck in there. Yum. Put that over by the onions now. Ginger away. How's our jar? Nice. Okay, so our jar is warm to the touch. I remember a couple of years back, there was that whole thing going around saying that soy disrupts like your estrogen, or it raises the amount of estrogen that you have. You can't do Smarties? What's an angel food candy? I've never heard or seen that one. Just grabbing a spatula so we can scrape all this. For your dislike of olives, it is the texture and the taste. That's a fair one though, Caretaker, because the taste of olives, yeah. I can see how that's not for everyone, but look at this. Homemade hoisin sauce. Who would have known? Not me. If Annie comes in today, you have to say thanks, Annie, for the recipe. It really smells pungent. Oh, I guess we do have to specify the Smarties, right? American versus Canadian. That's so silly. Okay, I gotta scoop this. We did it. Soak the pot. I gotta wipe off the outside of the jar. I got it a little messy. And now we're not gonna put on the lid until it is cooled. No, that's so true, right? For the men, after a certain age, your testosterone drops. Yeah, you don't want to be adding more estrogen in. That's why we always say everything in moderation. Works for a lot of things. Okay, our 45-minute timer is about to go off. Let's just quickly prep our bell pepper here before we grind our pork. And then we just have some fresh herbs to quickly chop while we are cooking some stuff. And wash some lettuce, that's it. Smarties in America are rockets here. Whoa. That's way different, yeah. Our Smarties, chocolate with a little candy shell. Really nice fresh bell pepper, holy. Get all the bits from up top, I like munching on them. It tastes good too. Okay, we will trim out this, the vein. So it's just kind of spongy and flavorless anyways. And then for this, to easily put it in the salad wrap, I think we'll just julienne it. Nice thin strips. And like I said, you can have the pepper raw in your salad wrap for extra crunch, or you can cook it in with the pork and have it a bit softened instead. Greek, it's making your toe hurt already. An angel food or sponge candy, like a chalky, hard-cooked toffee coated in chocolate. So like what we call sponge toffee here? I haven't decided yet whether we're gonna cook these or eat them fresh. I don't know what I want to do. Okay, now we're gonna clear the board off. Set up the meat grinder. We can do our pork. Wrap up this onion, get it away. Ah, I just wiped that. The onion keeps putting its juices everywhere. Stop it. Anyone here eat Pez candy? I used to. Way back when. I always think of Smarties as the sour candy rolls you would get at Halloween cookie. Yeah, which we call those rockets. What? We call that rockets. Also, I just need to take a peek over here and see what's happening with our granola. Look how good it looks. Need to see how crispy it is. Nice. Look at those scrunching bits. It tastes like cinnamon bun, but granola. What? That's so good. That's like everything I want from Harvest Crunch and nothing that we don't need. White Dove, we're not judging. You got Pez candy right next to you. Is there different flavors of Pez? Now we take this back apart. So cold. Do not put your tongue on the meat grinder. Greek, just us talking about the candy, your toes hurting. There's 4 different fruit flavors. Yum. I think I'm starting to remember again. It's been a long time since I had a Pez though. I'm trying to think of what my dispenser was. Really? They have race-based Pez dispensers now? This is the world we live in. Okay, so then this... set up like that. Maybe I actually do it this way. I always forget which way I do it. It's always this way. And then we'll take this, and we need a bowl underneath where we're going to grind, like that. The feed tray and the plunger, like that. And then we always zoom in. I need to back up this camera a bit. Today, remember when we pulled it forward for hot pot? Doesn't really want to focus. Are we back? I think so. I think once it gets going, it'll be fine. So I'm just gonna do a test run on the mixer. Sure it's all set up happy. And then we run it on half speed while we grind. Yeah, this has some nice... The meat is really nice and firm. Like, kind of frozen almost. We should have good, what we call here, meatworms. It doesn't want to focus. We'll just go farther back then. Okay, Val. If you want, you can just send me a message. And then we can talk about it this weekend. A quick dewormer, Mish. For safety reasons. Time to chop some pork. Ew. Okay, we finally got it to focus for a second, and then it didn't. I don't know what to say. Text is totally okay. Message me wherever you're comfortable. Hi, Dusty. How are you doing? How was your work week? Careful with fingies. There's nothing gonna happen. And I don't think my finger can reach down to where the auger is. Don't worry. But I appreciate that you think of me. Turn this if it's getting filled. The pork is so dark it looks like beef. Greek. You've only seen Kate grind how many pounds of meat over the years, right? You're headed to working in a bit? Nice. And thanks, Dust. I'm so pumped, dude. Finally. I was gonna say, Dust, Sam's on nights this time too up at camp, so you're not alone. Night crew represent. You once worked in a meat packing factory, heard some horror stories? I think if, like, whenever you work around food, yeah, you've definitely heard the horror stories. But, yeah, I'm always really careful. Ugh. Okay, that's what we don't want, the metal. I'm always really careful about what I do on stream. But like I said, I appreciate you looking out for me. Okay, now unplug the grinder first before we take it apart. Get rid of this. And then the bowl that you had the meat cut in, you can soak the grinder in there, so that it doesn't get all dried on. That's amazing, Greek. Almost 4 years, 10 months you've been following. Get rid of this. Michael. If people worked around when the mob was in, it's prime. Right? There would be some crazy stories. Ugh, I can't get it apart. It's seized on. Okay, we got it. It's very true though, Greek. Yeah, sometimes even the most seasoned of chefs can make a mistake. So there's always a little bit of ground meat around this part. We're gonna decrease the amount of metal in our body. Okay. Open that up. Whenever you have a really clean interior of the meat grinder, that means that you did all of the previous steps properly. And then this, just some sinew and stuff that didn't go through. You can see how it just wraps around the blade. And that is some delicious looking ground pork. The fat content looks really good in it. Ground Jerry. You guys are making me want to go watch Sopranos again. Okay, just put that in the fridge. Actually, I'm gonna leave it out because we'll cook it right away. Scratch that. And then, just real quick before we start cooking, I think we'll wash our lettuce. Get our little lettuce leaves. She's really like wilting some of these outside leaves. Have seen better days. It's Lauren, everyone. What is this amount of meat? More like... Because what did I say it was? 2.7 kilos? That's probably like 1.2 kilos. Ground up meat. Have a wonderful yoga teacher training weekend, Lauren. Looking forward to seeing your stories on Instagram. Admit. Forget about it. Okay, so this is a live lettuce. I put it in water when I got home. You know, it's live when it still has the roots on it. And we are just going to trim off. Like, some of these are so sad. I think if I put it back into water, it might crisp up again. But we're trying to get all of the really nice large leaves to make our lettuce wraps from. And one thing to be able to regrow this lettuce, because I think there's maybe 3 different heads on here. You just don't trim too close to the base. And then the leaves will always regrow. Aw, thanks, Lauren. Those waffles were so good yesterday. They saved my life, honestly. I don't usually eat anything before we go to the airport in the morning, but I needed something yesterday. Plus those waffles, that waffle recipe is from Cookie, actually. He posted in Discord. They are so good. You can also just use your hands to pick off any leaves that you see that you want. I think we're almost there though, guys. I think we're gonna start with that. How many lettuces do I have going? I have 2 in the planter pot right now growing from before. And then it looks like there's 3 more in there, Greek. So I'll have 5 total. And then I'll try to like separate those 3 heads that are together when I plant them, so that they grow better. Okay, take away the really wilted leaves. I'm just gonna do a quick rinse under cold water, and we'll just pat it dry. It stays so nice and crisp like this, I will say. And then the fact that I paid $2.50 for 3 heads of lettuce that I can now regrow the whole summer. That's a no-brainer. So pro tip, buy the lettuce with the roots on. Yay! Thank you, Lauren, for the 300 bitlies. I appreciate you. And those biddies are for some Arrow Garden seedlings, actually. So we can keep growing. That'll benefit everyone. Hey, even if you don't have a garden, just buy a planter, put some soil in it and put it on your balcony or somewhere in your living room where the sun is. Why not? If someone makes fun of you for growing food, that's a them problem. Right, Greek? We got lettuce for the whole summer now. Okay, so we'll just let these dry. Give them a pat. Lauren, thank you for the 400 more. I wasn't saying that so you give me more biddies. I was just saying how surprised I was at how much the little seedlings cost. I'm just gonna put this in the fridge like this. In the cloth.
Yay!
Thank you, Cookie. 219 biddies. Okay. We ground the pork. We wash the lettuce. While everything is cooking, we just have to slice some green onion and get some fresh herbs together. Mish, thank you. We're here, we're live. We're gonna be cooking the pork in this pan. I think we'll put a little bit of lard down there because we first have to fry our onion, ginger, and garlic together. So add some lard, oil, whatever you like to cook with. Mish, I have to put up with this every weekend. Bye, Lauren. Love you. Have good yoga. Maybe you'll inspire me. I'll do some stretching later. It's the thought that counts. Lard oil is the best. This jar has like lard, tallow, bacon fat, chicken fat. It is like the greatest cooking fat of life. Add everything to the jar. Anything goes. Okay, we got our spoon for stirring. So we'll start with the onion and then add the ginger and garlic after. And remember, our hoisin sauce is quite salty, I find. So don't go too crazy on the seasonings when it comes to the pork. Yo, you gonna deep fry the lettuce wrap? No! Why are we deep frying the lettuce wrap, you crazy? Then we should just call it a spring roll. Now I kind of want a spring roll though. Okay, we'll season the onion just a touch with some salt and pepper. And that's probably all we'll need for seasoning in the dish. Now that the fat is melted, we'll give this a better stir. Get the onion all coated. About 5-10 minutes to cook this until it's golden brown. Whoa, whoa. I'll be wearing a baseball cap, I think, on my walk later. All this crazy wind. I hate when my hair like blows in my face. Yeah, it's summer. Summer rules? We really could actually take all of this in the lettuce wrap and then put it into a rice paper and wrap it up. My gosh, because then you dip it in hoisin sauce. Are you onto something right now, Mish? Wait, deep fried lettuce wraps are actually a thing, Greek? What? Put the hoisin sauce over here. Alright, herbages. Green onion, cilantro. What else we got? I don't know if the mint is viable, but that could be good. What kind of rolls are the summer rolls? It's a rice paper wrap. Also a note on green onions, guys. If they have the root on like this, I'll show you over here. If you don't trim it all the way down, you could put this into soil. And then the onion will keep growing from the center. So I'm gonna try that too. Rice paper rules? No, rolls. R-O-L-L. Right? Shrimp summer rolls with peanut sauce. I got peanut sauce in the house still. Alright, we got our cilantro. Get our onions back in the bag. We like rules here. Shacked. I hear a lot of sizzling already. Time to give this a stir. It's already browning. That was quick. Really quick. Spread it back out. Okay. I salvaged some mint. Here are the herbs. So we have a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of mint, and some green onion. Back to this. This is frying really quickly. Couple more moments and we'll add the ginger and garlic. And I'm not gonna be cooking all the pork that we ground, I don't think, guys, because that was quite a bit. I just ground half and then wanted to see what we'd end up with. Okay, so I trimmed the green onions just to there. So for now, I'll just put them in the water with the lettuce. They can start to perk up a bit. I'm just gonna rinse the bottom of these because there's some weird stuff. Slimy bits. Trim the tops if it's discolored. These are so curly. Ready, guys? Ginger garlic time. And this will only fry up for a moment or so until it gets fragrant, and then we can add the pork. Yeah, because look at the onions getting nice and browned. And then the pork will add lots of good fats into here. Oh, the smell. The greatest smell ever. Okay, so see how it's browning and starting to stick to the bottom of the pan? We'll just take another spoon and start scooping the pork. We'll do one nice even layer. So I usually cook about 3 to 4 portions for myself of protein. That looks awesome. And then this is how much pork is left. So I used about half. Give that a stir just to get the ginger garlic right off the bottom of the pan. But then once you do that, we're not going to stir it too much. I might add a little bit of liquid. Let's see. The moisture from the pork should loosen off that roasted garlic and ginger. 3 to 4 pork chins. Okay, we'll just switch here while I'm prepping. Slice this in half and then we can cut it quicker. It smells really good. The pork is moist. These green onions were deceivingly large. I maybe didn't need both of them. That's okay though, we'll use them on tomorrow's stream. For the poke. Oh, I should actually ask my friend, because she's pescatarian, if she wants me to make her a poke bowl tomorrow to bring to her on Sunday. Because that's what good friends do. It's a good crunchy onion, hey? Let's have a peek over here. Okay, the juices are starting to loosen it up off the pan. Perfect. Turning that up a little bit. We'll go up to 6. And I'm just gonna grab a container for the herbs. I don't know if we'll chop the cilantro and the mint. We might just lay it on in the nice big leaves on the salad wrap, because that could look nice. You really like the sounds of a kitchen. I will say, it was so dang cute on Wednesday. Because I may or may not have, like, put my client to bed. He fell asleep while I was cooking. It was the best. And then Samara had to go wake him up, be like, dinner's ready. What are you waiting for? Really, like, because the sounds of the kitchen would, like, put me to sleep. But yeah, I guess if you're already sleeping and then having to listen to people cook, it might be disruptive. We're gonna give that pork a proper mix here in a moment. Just wanted to get a little bit of browning action first. Yo, you're gonna fry pork egg roll? I'm honored. Do you wanna do tradesies? I'll give you some pork salad roll if you share some of your egg roll. The smells really are worse. Because while you're smelling it, you just want to be eating it the whole time. Okay, we got the herbages. So you got our sliced green onion, and then just mint and some cilantro leaves. Look at how good this is looking. Yeah, look at the juice from the pork. Now we can start scraping up the garlicky bits. And I will say, like, fresh ground pork, as much as we think this is a lot of juice and stuff coming out, you'll get way more purge, is what I call it. And like a lot of chefs call it. The juices. You'll get way more purge on pre-ground meat from the store, I would say. I find that when you grind it yourself, you don't get as much loss. And then I don't like it too minced up. I like it a little bit chunky still, but not too chunky. There is a happy medium that we're looking for. It's cooking really nice though. So let that keep going. Get it all fully cooked. And then we'll start seasoning with our hoisin sauce. Okay, we got our herbs, we got our pork, we need our chow mein, farke. I have not had these in so long. And I was also thinking about the dessert that you can make from these little noodles called haystack cookies. Because whenever I buy something like this and I know I'm not going to use it all, it's like, okay, what else am I going to do with it though? They literally are just crunchy. They don't really taste like anything. Your parents play Yahtzee every night, yet it is, so you started associating the sound of rolling dice with bedtime as a kid. That's actually nice. Yeah, it's so strange what our brain pick up. That's funny. Okay, I think that's it. Just our bell pepper and lettuce. Make a little assembly station in front of yourself. A plating station. How do I want to do this today? Just gonna put the lettuce into a container now. It smells like a stir fry in here, basically, while that's cooking. It looks like we're gonna make like 5 smaller lettuce wraps from the leaves that we ended up with. Alright. Yum. Okay, it's mostly just fat cooking in the pan now. And we're all cooked through, and there's nothing stuck on the bottom of the pan anymore. Awesome. So all of the flavor has gone into the meat. Just gonna grab a spoon so that we can taste this, and I'll decide how much hoisin we should put in. The texture and the flavor. You used to play Yahtzee and backgammon with your ex's father? Look at this pour. I'm gonna stop there, so we can always add more, but we can't really take it away. Squatted in a trailer, no water or power. Sounds like Ray from Trailer Park Boys, Ricky's dad. You gotta come closer. We'll probably be able to add more hoisin. Let's get it all coated first, and then we can taste it again. Look at how it's like glazing this now. One more taste. I have no words of how good that is. I'm gonna just put a little bit more. But oh my gosh. That is the best hoisin I've ever had. Lesson learned. Make it yourself. I mean, you could always dial back how much you put in the pork so that you can drizzle a little bit of the sauce over top too. This is so good, you guys. This is everything I thought it would be. Give that one final stir, and you can take it off of the heat. I'll just get my little video set up for social media while we plate. And we're there. We made it. Nom indeed. Nutella and pork. Okay, so that's what I set up to make the salad wraps. Everything you need right in front of you. Fresh ground pork. Way better than store-bought pork. Thanks, pal. I always feel like it's a little Subway sandwich station what we make. Throw this this back here for now. You guys need to see the pork in this view. Yum. And now we just need a plate. I think the contrast will look really nice if we put it on a black plate with all the different colors. Just switch this out. Okay, you guys can see that. They can see it. We are good. All right, we'll start by putting our lettuce onto our plate neatly around. We'll do 5 smaller lettuce wraps, and I keep just picking off that little crunchy part. Sometimes the lettuce will try to tear there if you leave it together. Just like that. And now I think we'll do our julienne red pepper next as a base. A nice crunchy fresh base. Since we're doing 5 smaller lettuce wraps, I'm not gonna load them up too much. A couple pieces of pepper. Next, I think we'll do the pork. Kind of get the scoop size into your spoon so that you can just flop it onto the wrap like that. And we build these so that they're always nice and easy to eat. Or as easy as we can make it, right? Mish. Okay, next one. We'll do our herbs. So I think we'll lay our mint and cilantro next. Like just tear the mint and place it around. If you don't want mint, that's okay too. Not going too crazy with the mint. Okay, now our cilantro. I am going a little crazy with the cilantro though, because that's gonna taste so good. One whole sprig. Next we'll do our green onion. And then lastly, I don't even know how we're gonna eat them with this on it, the chow mein noodles. I think I'm gonna give him a little, like, crush in my hand first. There. So that they're not as long. Yeah, how good was that little crunching sound, hey? I guess we could have came closer together, too. Police. We don't want the cilantro there. Okay, these don't look as good as I thought they were going to end up, but I think that they're gonna taste amazing. Let's see if we need any more sauce. I think my camera was out of focus that whole time for the video. I'm not upset. Not at all. Okay. We got all the goodness. Ready to put it in our face. Mmm. The rogue onion. That is so good. It tastes way better than it looks. I really like the flavor of the herbs at first. And then you get the crunch of the chow mein. And then you get the fatty and saucy pork. Mmm. You and your feta complaints. Chinese tacos, let's go. Imagine doing it with like a cabbage leaf. This is so good though. And yeah, my mom used to make this with ground beef. These little pieces of lettuce are a touch too small for this today. But I really wanted to use this, so. We make it work. Would feta be good in this? It actually probably would. Because like the bell pepper, the herbs, the lettuce. The only thing that I would be maybe weird with is the pork flavor. But I honestly feel like it would still be good. Also, we ground our own pork for this, so there's that too, right? And I think you kind of go into lettuce wraps knowing that it's going to be an absolute mess when you eat them, right? Like, this is something that I would never order if I went to a restaurant. It's just not a fun experience, but make it for yourself at home. Who cares? The crunch, the freshness. I can't get over how good that sauce is either. This is everything I wanted. You would order it, Mish, just not on a first date. That's a good one to say too, actually. Oh, that's yummy, guys. Really, really yummy. Okay, so there's our hoisin. It's still a little bit warm, so I can't put the lid on quite yet. But yeah. Even though it's not quite as dark as the one that you get in the store, honestly, the flavor of this, phenomenal compared to the other brands I've had before. Dust. How about putting it in a corn tortilla even if it breaks the lettuce code? You for sure could. Do some fusion. That'd be like Mexican Chinese fusion. Remember, recipes are just guidelines. If you want to switch them up, by all means. Just gonna get a couple lids, and then we'll pack up our granola together. And that's almost it, guys, for the day. Be more cooking tomorrow. Where do I want to store my granola? That is the real question. Will it fit in this? Mish, you're feeling personally attacked? How do you think we felt all the times? How do you think I feel every stream? And now I have a bunch of this prepped up for later in the week. Let's also say this, guys. If we didn't want to eat this in the lettuce wrap form, you could totally just make it into a salad, put everything in a bowl, and call it a day. I got slapped. It's not telling us what we got slapped with, though. Oh, lordy. Ah! Feta Weiss beer? Does that exist? This granola though, guys. Such a good desserty too. Gotta make that for Samo when he's home. Michael. Not the smell. Okay, let's try and make a granola taco. I don't know if it's possible though with this because there's so much. It's already flowing over the edges. This was deceiving how much we made actually. Like what? Does Cookie have a beard still, or did he shave it? I can't keep track of all of our beard bros. Hello? Housekeeping? You hear the knocking of the hood fan, guys? He shaved it yesterday, see? Hi, Mandy. Welcome in. What's cooking? We are putting away some nut and seed granola that we made first thing on stream today. It's flavored with a bit of cinnamon. There's walnuts, pumpkin seed, cashew, and coconut, as well as oats, and then just some butter and honey. Okay, Dusty. Have a good night at work. I hope things are going really good with your job. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow before you gotta worky again, too. I think it's gonna fit, guys. I got high hopes. Just got a little bit of sticky bits here in the center. Worked really good though with the silicone mat. And then we didn't waste a sheet of parchment paper. I like this granola because it's not super sweet. That's a lot. That should last a good couple weeks, I would say. You gonna put gochujang in the lettuce wrap? That would be good too, actually, if I wanted to spice up my life. Yeah, this recipe I actually got from a YouTuber, so I don't have a link for it because she just shared it through actually her like Notion link that she shared on her one episode. But I said that looks so good, so decided to make it. Now I got granola for my yogurt bowls in the morning. Tried it with kefir. I haven't, but that would be good. I've seen people eat kefir with granola. It works. Oh, now you're making me think about at the store they make like a mango lassi that you can buy at Walmart, and it is so delicious tasting. Just tastes like mangoes blitzed with yogurt. Such a refreshing drink. Mango lassi. Lassie is a dog. Kefir is yogurt. It's just like a bit thinner, right? Okay, who are we gonna go raid today, my friends? What we got going on in this wonderful world? There's a cheesecake stream happening with Cat of Whimsy. Excuse me, what is this though? This sounds so fun. There's a guy doing dinosaur digs, like paleontologist. Maybe we'll go raid someone new. Dr. Rich Kimball. He's making pork chops in a creamy apple cider sauce. Guys, I don't know. Short and sweet. Like, we made lunch, we made granola. I don't even know what to say. Thanks for being here, friends. Okay, we're gonna go raid Cat of Whimsy because we were talking about cheesecake earlier. So it just makes sense. Boom, we're ready. All right, friends, we will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, making a salmon poke bowl. I don't think that we've ever made poke on stream before. I can't recall. I'd have to go check back on our Discord. Years worth there. But yeah, that's what we're making. Rice, marinated fish. We are also making a really delicious strawberry dessert tomorrow, which I've never made before. It's made with tapioca though. So if you like pudding, you would like this. Think like a strawberry sort of tapioca pudding. I'm really excited to try it. And it's strawberry season right now in North America, so it's time. Did we tell him about the cheesecake I made, which was the redemption? Oh, when we go to see Cosmic Hat? Up to you, dude. Let's see what her cheesecake is and then go from there. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for all of the bit.lys today. The resubs as well. We had some long-term ones. And the follows. I will be back tomorrow. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday wherever you are in the world. Make sure to join our Discord for all of the recipes and just to chat outside of stream. Let's hit that button. Go see Kat, another fellow Canadian food and drink streamer. Love y'all and see you tomorrow. Thanks, Mish, for the bit. Bye!